Hey Patrick, it's Jackie, and I just wanted to shoot you over the video that I was telling you about. I wanted to make sure that I had a good amount of research into the video, so it's taken me a minute. But I do have, to start off, I have your website pulled up here. And what I'll talk about first really is, like we had discussed, the site itself, the visually, it looks great. All this is amazing. Your daughter did a really good job. The only thing that I really do suggest is on the actual site, adding the content on here that we would need with the keywords that you would want to be found for. That's what's really going to help bring in some more volume to the site. And you need about, Google says in between like 1,500 to 2,000 words on your homepage, and then depending on your services and what you're ranking for, 500, 700, 1,000 on the back pages, depending. Now I did input your information into Ahrefs, the tool that I use, and it just gives me the metrics of where you're sitting. So right now, really there's not a lot to report as far as your site goes. You have like 3 backlinks, 2 referring domains. So basically you have 2 websites that have your link to your website to them. The keywords that you're coming up for are just your name of the company. So first, there's several things that I had researched. So one of them being, just for example, like international freight for oil. What you'll see coming up first is the ads, which is definitely something that I would suggest doing, but I would I would niche down and be very specific as to what you're running the ads for and to where and what locations. So then the first competitor in this would be the Texas Freight and Texas International Freight. So here's their site for the actual oil and gas logistics, and this is what they're ranking for this keyword. So we'll take a look at their site. So this UR and the DR is the strength and the trust that their site has with Google, and this is on a scale of 100. So we want to keep these numbers pretty balanced and continually moving up. So this particular page, this back page that's ranking, has 4 backlinks to it from 4 referring domains. And then they're coming up for 30 keywords on this. So when we take a peek at some of the keywords that we would technically want to go after, so let's say like shipping petroleum, Texas oil service companies, stuff like that isn't necessarily specific to what you're doing. So what I did was I took a look at where their entire site is sitting. So for SEO, because they definitely do exactly what you do, and here's where they're sitting and why they're ranking so high. And this is stuff that we can pull in. So they have 1.22 thousand backlinks coming from 247 referring domains, but not all of the backlinks are the same. So you want to go after the links that are more authoritative and not the ones that aren't going to send any power to your site. And then they are coming up for almost 4,000 keywords, and they're getting about 3,000 organic traffic a month to the main page. So some of the keywords that we could take a look at. So let's see, Houston Freight Forwarder, there's 100 people a month that look that up. Texas International Freight, there's 90 people. Let's see, Trucking to Mexico, maybe there's 250 people that look that up. Let's see, Texas Freight Forwarders, there's 50. Freight Forwarder Houston, 250. There is a truck transport. There's 1,000 people a month. Texas Freight, 150. Here's another 90. Let's see. There's some other good ones. International Freight Forwarder, Houston specifically. There's 30 there, and then 70 here. So that's just kind of an idea of some of the keywords. And once you start getting ranked, a percentage of that total volume is going to go to your site, and then a percentage of that is going to give you a call and, request a quote, and then you'll just start up that conversation with the lead. But kind of moving forward, some of the other competitors, Cargo Shipping International, to take a peek at where they're at. So they have a 9 and an 8 with strength and trust. So fairly on the lower end, but they are getting about 3,000 organic traffic a month. They've got almost 2,000 keywords that they're coming up for. So like cargo shipping. The keyword difficulty on these are very high because they're international keywords. So these are going to be things that would take years to start ranking for. It's not impossible. It just takes stuff like that takes a good amount of money and time. So we want to find things that are more specific to the areas that you're wanting to ship to, and then are going to be a little bit easier to rank for and not cost you as much and get a quicker return on investment. Let's see, like all of these are 38, 55, 53, 41, like cargo freight international. International freight shipping, there's like 450 people a month that look that up. So they're doing really good. They're ranking for some pretty high keywords. So we'd probably want to niche down for that. So cargo shipping services, international shipping cargo. Let's see if there's any lower ones that would be easier. Maybe the cargo freight company. There's 100 people that look that up. Same with this one, 100 people cargo and freight company. Let's see. Cargo international shipping. There's 50 people look that a month. 50 people here. International cargo shipping, another 50. Those aren't quite as high, so we could potentially go after those. And then here's another like international freight company. And then here's the ads. And then here's the map pack, which there's definitely a couple of things that I would suggest with the map pack. We could start out getting you ranking in Houston and then kind of expand out from there and get you some different locations. So we just need to figure out, different locations that you would want to rank for that would be potentially good. We would reach out to some people and get you your GMB, and that would help bring in a lot of traffic in those areas. So we'd be kind of specific where we would want to get those at. And then the top competitors for here, we've got some of their info. So, again, Texas International Freight, IFS Cargo, and then here's a specialty car international shipping. There's a bunch of different ways that you could look this up potentially. And again, here's some ads, which could do really well, but we just want to make sure it's not costing an arm and a leg, like too much. So we have international car shipping from US right here, WC Shipping. So here is their site. Let that load. And here they have like a little calculator to calculate the international shipping for the cars. They have some verbiage here on it with some keywords. And so I'll take a look at what they're doing. Okay, so their UR in the DR is pretty high. It's 33 and 42 for the strength and the trust. They have 813 backlinks coming from 86 referring domains. They are getting about 1.2 thousand organic traffic and 733 keywords. So when we go after certain ones, a plan of action always is to match the amount of referring domains that they have, beat them out by 100, but we want to go after good quality ones that have what's called like a do follow link that's actually going to send you power to your site rather than just suck it. So some of these keywords for them. Ship car overseas, there's 200 people a month that look that up. Shipping car overseas, 250. International vehicle shipping, 200. International auto shipping, 100. There's another one, 150. International car shipping, 500, 70, 60. So there's a ton of volume right there. These are the KDs on here are a little bit higher to rank for, but these wouldn't take nearly as long as like the ones that are almost to 100. And then we also have where I looked up freight shipping to Saudi Arabia. Again, here's the ads. So just I was kind of going after, some heavier oil freight import exports. Icon containers, Schumacher Cargo, those are two of the bigger ones that came up for that. So then here is their page for this. So they have origin, shipment, destination, options, get a quote, which this could potentially work well for you if they just, that way they can just send you the information to get the quote quick. Of course, you know, you're going to have to look into everything, and we don't want anybody that's going to just want something super cheap, but it would help with conversions. So here's where they're sitting on this page. So their trust with Google's really high from their main site. But this particular one, this back page has 7 backlinks, 6 referring domains, 98 keywords. Let's see some of the ones, like so ship container, shipping from China to Saudi Arabia. And of course, you would know better than me where you guys, if you're shipping straight from the United States, or if you're, you know, can set up a pickup from, say, like China to Saudi Arabia, or you know, pickup locations in other countries, rather than just shipping straight from the U.S. to wherever. Let's see, cargo from Saudi Arabia to India. There's 90 people a month that look that up. Pakistan to Saudi Arabia, cargo price 60. Cargo Saudi to India, there's 90. Cargo shipping from Saudi to Philippines, 70. See, these, like the KDs, the keyword difficulties on these are really easy. So stuff like this that would work for you would be actually really good to go after if it works for you, if that's something that you do. Let's see if there's anything else. Ship to Saudi Arabia, there's 50 people a month. So that was kind of an example for that one. Export shipping company. Here's where they're sitting here with the ads. And then here, of course, your map pack, which we definitely want to get you ranking in. Let's see, export import services is one of the top ones. Here's their site. Looks good. Like you had mentioned before, they do have like a track your shipment, and they have online payments, request a free quote. So let's see where they're sitting. There's some keywords. Let's see where the site's sitting. Okay, so they're at about 38, 31 for the strength and trust, about 176 referring domains, close to 2,000 backlinks, 147 keywords. Let's see. So we'll take a look at some of the keywords, and this is really where I can gather the information for you when I go in and do the research for where we're wanting to pinpoint and really get business from, and I'll be able to get the content written that is specific to the different aspects that you do. So here's like import export company. There's 2.6 thousand searches for that a month. Import services, 250. Import export services, 50. Export services, 150. Export import, 600. Export shipping company, 30. And then lastly, I went over like cargo shipping Texas. So we kind of break it down into the entire state of Texas, and you can break it down into areas from there. But here's the ads for that. And then Freight Center was one of the top ones. So here's theirs for Texas. They have, again, you know, view my rates, get your free freight quote. They have the content on here, some keywords, freight carriers, shipping companies. And then they're sitting in about, they're a pretty high trust rating, and then 77 keywords. So get an idea of that for Texas area. So Texas shipping, 150 people a month. Let's see, Texas freight services, there's 200 people a month. That would potentially be a good one, depending on what you would think, but this is an easier one to rank for. So freight companies in Texas, there's 60 people here. Texas freight companies, 50. Texas freight, 150. Freight services, service providers, shipping to Texas. Texas freight forwarders, there's 50. So Texas Freight, Houston, Texas, 30. So that's kind of just an idea of some of the volume that's out there, and then also what your competitors are doing as far as the SEO goes. They're, creating their strong sites so they can be found for all these different services in these different ranges and areas. It's definitely something that I would suggest doing if we're wanting to bring in more leads through your website. And then I'll go over all the stuff with the LinkedIn that I was talking about, and we can discuss strategy further, but this is going to give you an idea of, okay, we need to go in and we got to get these backlinks every month. We need to specify exactly what the competition is in the exact areas that you're wanting to focus on. And then from there, niche down, and eventually we can build out, like I had mentioned, those the Google My Business profiles in different cities and potentially different states. And there are ways for me to go in and get that for you. And then we can start ranking in those areas that have a good amount of freight searches and shipping in general. But yeah, I look forward to speaking with you, and give me a call. All right, bye.